What's the weirdest, non-sexual thing you and your partner do that nobody else knows about? My husband likes to hide Lego minifigs in our home decor to see how long it takes for me to notice. Most recently, I was gifted an old dollhouse that my grandmother and I made as a child. The other day I just happened to walk by it, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a Storm Shadow G.I. Joe sitting in a rocking chair in the dollhouse. Apparently he's leveling up, and I had no idea. Watch this video until the end for good luck. We enjoy pushing each other over on a bed. One of us gets on our hands and knees and we just push each other as hard as we can. 10 out of 10, very fun to feel like a cow getting tipped. When we are cuddling, I randomly get up and move to the other side of the couch, say now to enjoy my personal space, which then causes her to climb on top of me and latch on like a damn spider monkey. All the while I'm jokingly screaming about how I'm not consenting and need help. The part of our neighborhood we live in is tucked back, and usually the only cars that come down the street are our neighbors. When we see a car we don't recognize, we bark like dogs at the window at it. Sometimes my wife will spontaneously grab my thigh and do this weird heavy breathing thing, like she's having a panic. Other times she will throw a random object at me and do the heavy breathing. This came from a time when she got really scared and launched a spider at me. We turned it into a joke. We do it to each other now randomly. It scares the shit out of me 100% of the time. We get these super intense moments where we are side-eyeing each other and I'm just waiting for one of us to strike. I used to stick my finger in his mouth when he was yawning. Then he did it to me once and made me realize I hated it and stopped altogether. For some reason, I like to make up nonsense words at random to make my wife giggle. One of the earliest ones was hakacha. She reacted to this one particularly strongly for some reason. So for the past decade, I will bust it out randomly. I'll get close in bed, like we are going to cuddle, and softly whisper hakacha in her ear. Or I'll look deep into her eyes and say, "Hey, hakacha." This usually results in a prolonged period of laughter for the both of us. I even forgot about it for a while after a particularly stressful period in our lives. She comes up to me one day and says, "Hey, you haven't hakacha'd me for a while," and gave me the pouty lip. We make these stupid high-pitched noises as if to Marco Polo each other. It's become this sign of affection to say, "Are you okay?" And if he does it back, then we're both okay. If it's a lower pitch, we know something's up. We will face each other and then use our thumbs to pull up/push down the space between each other's eyebrows to move the eyebrows and change the facial expressions. Lifting makes the person look really concerned and it cracks us up. I tickle my BF and he makes incredibly weird noises while trying to resist a giggling fit. Lots of stupid impressions which he has a knack for. Every night we have a dramatic tournament at bedtime when he tries to throw his socks into our laundry basket from the bed. We also spank each other a lot while wearing pajamas and dressing gowns because it makes such a funny noise when there's so much padding on the butt. This behavior has only started happening since we moved into our own place together, and it's been a delight. I've never laughed so much. Sometimes when we both start laughing, one of us will open their mouth as wide as possible and then the other will follow suit. So we are basically just sitting there with our mouths as big as they'll go, yelling ha 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 ha. We are secretly super boring, like home cooking healthy food from scratch, drinking tea and watching interior design shows on Netflix before going to bed early on a Saturday night level boring. We are both heavily tattooed, pierced, kinky AF, and people expect us to go out and party every weekend. We are the exact opposite. Whenever he wears his eye drops it would look as though he'd been tearing up, and so I would always ask him why he's crying, and he'd dramatically reply with, "Because I love you so much." It sounds cringe, but I would always feel so happy afterwards. We buy a lot of the same clothes, but don't wear them at the same time, so people don't notice. My girlfriend and I have very similar taste in clothes, so if she finds a cute shirt I'll be like, "Oh, find one in my size too." I bought a sweatshirt for myself and we ended up going back the next week to buy her the same one. We have a ton of matching lounge pants and cat themed t-shirts. I'm a bit of a weird guy and really early in the relationship I don't know what came over me, but I just wanted to touch her face. So I put my hand over her face. It was a bit odd obviously, but she wasn't weirded out. She thought it was cute and funny. So it became our thing. As a sign of affection we would just put our hands on each other's faces. We broke up because of long distance, and I miss her a lot. My partner and I have this weird joke where, if one of us jokingly challenges the other to a fight we respond with "take your pants off." It is a variation of taking your shirt off to fight. My wife's family are on the whole good people, but have a tendency to either pontificate about things when they have control of the conversation, or not fully pay attention when you have control of the conversation. So when this happens we try to slip the word panthole into as many sentences as possible without them noticing. We've gotten up to 8 in a row without getting caught. Every time the timer goes off on her iPhone we do this dance. No matter where we are in the flat we'll find each other and do the dance. Honestly it's become like muscle memory now. This one time it went off at work without her around, and I subconsciously started dancing. For those who are wondering, the timer tune we have set is By the Seaside. My partner is a completely different person around me. She is a highly successful professional and an expert in certain academic areas in our country, writes papers for institutes, and gets TV and radio interviews constantly as her field is really big in the media right now. In most situations she is a very serious person that didn't laugh or let herself go. When we are alone together though she is like a teenager that never grew up. She can be hilarious, needy, talk in silly voices or phrases all day, and is generally a very happy and vibrant person. I love that there's a whole secret side to her personality that no one else sees. She's actually super dependent on me but everyone assumes the opposite, and I'm happy with that. Less weird, we've been greeting each other almost exclusively with "hello" ever since that one internet meme. More weird, sometimes we play dentist where one of us makes the other open their mouth, and the dentist carefully and methodically taps all the visible teeth before confirming, "Ah yes, these are teeth. Don't remember how that one started though lol." Being an introverted guy, I'm not really good at social interactions. So I met this girl on my work and things seems to be moving forward between us. So, one day, I believe it was our 3 or 4 date, I wanted to say "I love your eyes," but somehow my brain translated that into "I love the shape of your skull." Of course I blushed massively followed by an awkward silence. But yay, somehow she found it funny, and we are married for 8 years. From time to time I still say this to her. When we are taking a shower and we face away from each other, we push our butts together and move our hips back and forth in opposite directions so our buns make clapping noises. We can't shower without doing it. We pretend to be bread makers occasionally, just wiggling our hips and making bread maker noises. One of us will just shout "bread makers," and wherever we are we start doing it, haha. I'm going through all of these, and I'm just sitting here like, man, I need to be less sexual towards my boyfriend. When we are cuddling, I'll bury my head in his chest. Every time I do he kinda just pulls me closer. Every so often, if I need to, I'll kinda tear up. It tells me he loves me. Every single time when either me or my husband has to do a chore or a task that we don't want to do, we always mutter under our breath, "This is bullshit," in the same accent as Deacon from What We Do in the Shadows when he has to wash all the bloody dishes. I typically go to bed sooner and we have a little sequence of kisses all over the face before I head upstairs. I kiss his forehead, his nose, then he kisses my nose, and we peck on the lips. It can change in order or frequency, but it's always fun, and I love it. When lying down in bed one of us will write a secret message on the other's back using their finger. We then have to guess the message. Safe to say a lot of hours have been wasted on wrong guesses due to poor handwriting skills. Me and my GF say beep boop and meep moop to each other if after a big fight and we want things to go back to normal, or that we are sorry or something. It came from when we're in Bali a few years ago, can't exactly remember how, but yeah. I'm sure our close friends know about it, but she sings me this Cartman song, "I'm a little piggy, here's my snout, oink oink oink, oink oink oink," and then grabs me by my nose. When we don't like something we do this thing that cats do when they are angry. Sometimes we eat and watch porn together. There was a TV advert for McD's in the UK, where a family are going through the drive-thru on their way to a wedding and the husband turns to his disapproving wife and says, "Well, lunch until 5" in a proper funny way, and we shout it at each other any and every time we drive past a Max's. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Let us know your thoughts on this topic. See you soon.